the case is, and it's got systems where they can go in and activate it, and then it activates the mic app. It records it onto the app. Then as soon as you leave, it downloads it, erases it in the app, the recording app, and then transmits it scrambled. That's 10 years old that we know of. So the president keeps freaking out saying, I'm in meetings with 2 or 3 people, and they know word for word what in the Hades is going on. And then they say, well, they cut back last year to only some people having cell phones. Mr. President, you are probably one of the leakers.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
So, when you're informed, you know how the world works. And you know that going back to the end of the first George W. Bush administration in like 2004, there were articles already in Jane's Weapons Quarterly and then even in CNN about a year later that they would not allow any cell phones in basically the White House, period. And the people that did have them had to have BlackBerries because they didn't have apps on them. Because when you have somebody's app, anytime they want, they can just open it up and then, like a Trojan horse, have it do whatever they want. There are tens of thousands of apps. There are hundreds of prominent ones that have features that aren't even advertised where they can turn your microphone on and listen. Now, this has been in the publications forever. This has been in the tech publications. I would cover it and say, hey, the public should be aware of this. And the media would go, Jones is insane. He covers the camera on his computer. Then, 10 years later, Comey said do it. Jones is insane. He says take the battery out of your phone or put it inside a little Faraday cage if you don't want to be listened to, tracked, and listened to or watched, because they can have AI do it. They have computers do it in live time, and they create these logs of what you say and do that go into databases. And you ask why? Because the companies and the deep state want the data. Because they've got algorithms 3 years ago, they announced, that probably means they had it 10 years ago, where Amazon knows with 99% surety when you're going to order something before you order it, and already has it packaged before you order it. They know when you're going to pull into the liquor store. They know when you're going to go to the steakhouse. They know when you're going to go see your girlfriend. They know everything. They know the genre, everything. They've got it. So, under Obama and under Bush, before him, there were no cell phones allowed in the White House. And if you're a radio listener, we're putting the articles on screen. Okay? So I'm not just saying this. So people keep saying there'll be 4 people in the meeting, and then word for word it leaks. So then the security people at the White House start demanding everybody's phones and looking to see if they recorded it, or to see, they have these special systems to see if they're on their phone in the meeting. They'll bring the machines in to see if there's any live phones. That's not how it works. They've got a bunch of apps where you think it's a weather app or you think it's an exercise app or whatever the case is, and it's got systems where they can go in and activate it, and then it activates the mic app. It records it onto the app. Then as soon as you leave, it downloads it, erases it in the app, the recording app, and then transmits it scrambled. That's 10 years old that we know of. So the president keeps freaking out saying, I'm in meetings with 2 or 3 people, and they know word for word what in the Hades is going on. And then they say, well, they cut back last year to only some people having cell phones. Mr. President, you are probably one of the leakers. Because we know you've got 2 cell phones. They got you to get rid of one about a year ago, which people thought was about you not calling whoever you wanted, and that was part of it. But it's also because you're the #1 target in the world. It's not foreign governments that even do it. It's Apple. It's, if you don't think Bezos is spying on you, sir, you're crazy. He's the richest man in the world. He hates your guts. Obama just got caught spying on you. Remember, Mr. President, back in January of last year, I told you they're spying on you. They're watching everything you're doing. It's Obama. They're going for broke. They're not going to stop. They're going to make something up. You got to move against them. You already knew that, too. So, Kelly's got a cell phone. Trump's got a cell phone. They're in these meetings where nobody else has got them, and it's still getting out of the meeting word for word, which is why Trump keeps thinking they're recording him. Yeah, they're recording you, but it's probably not even the people in the room most of the time. They've gotten rid of most of those leakers. So the media keeps playing dumb about, oh, who's doing it? Oh, maybe it's Trump talking to the media. Maybe it's, well, when he talks to media, that's not leaking. That's the president. So they keep playing dumb, saying, where are the leakers? And there's probably some humans still doing it as well. Trump has bad advisors telling him, because if they don't know that it's what the head of the CIA said 6 years ago, we're going to listen to you over your appliances, they can listen over people. If they have power down power line in the area and the right transformers, they can listen over light bulbs. Yes, through the new light bulbs. They can listen through anything. It's all resonance. And it's all with sensors bouncing back up. These light bulbs have special sensors in them. But those sensors can also be tuned with the data over power lines to give them an image. It's the same thing. There's thousands of ways, as we get information singularity, that they can listen to the president. He needs to know that it's not the traditional person in the room. It is the AI robots, Paul Watson. What do you say to that, my friend?
Well, I mean, Alex, we put out articles in 2006. You're talking 12 years ago now, about cameras on PCs, computers listening to people's microphones, asking access to people's microphones. We were the first to talk about that, and everyone was saying it was a tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. 2012, we put out an article, Samsung TVs can be hacked to spy on viewers. 2 years later, in 2014, they came out and admitted in their own global privacy policy that they were recording personal conversations and sending them to third parties. I was in their own privacy policy back in 2014. We reported on it at least 2 years before that. So it's not just the phones, as you said. And they're saying that they're keeping them locked in just standard lockers somewhere in the White House before they go into the more secure areas inside. So they're not being protected from hacking, as you said. And as he said, when you install apps, it literally tells you, we must have permission to access your microphone for you to install this app. We've had articles about that for years. So this is a major problem. Obviously, as he said, a lot of the people inside that cabinet aren't very sophisticated when it comes to technology, and they're not seeing this as the threat in terms of leaking, which is obviously, going right over their heads.
And let's be clear, senior staffers still have the phones. There's a reason for 40 years at the Capitol to have secret meetings. They're in a bubble room, totally guarded with 10-foot thick walls. They've got seismic microphones that can... they got so much stuff, it's insane. The bottom line is Trump should only be having secret conversations in a dome of silence. And the word is they've got one in the basement. So that's it. You can't have conversations in that White House. The place is bugged by these cell phones.
And in addition to that, Alex, a lot of them still blab to the media. There's this whole narrative about, oh, Trump is trying to shut down the media and kill the First Amendment. Even in this CNN article about the phones, which you were talking about, they admit that they still talk to dozens of reporters on and off record throughout the entire day. Stop blabbing to the reporters for your own ego. That's another thing that they need to stop doing.
Well, plus a lot of that's CNN lies and says they have sources, but yeah, there's some of it because a lot of people are hedging their bets. They're scared, so they're betting against Trump in case he goes down. You're absolutely right, Paul. We'll be right back on the other side. Infowars.com, newswars.com. Tomorrow's news today.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
You're a white man! You're a white man!
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Guaranteeing your food independence is a crucial part of prepping. Between debt crisis, natural disasters, or even simple power outages, having a supply of storable meals is crucial. With InfoWars Life Select storable food, you can make sure you and your family are ready for any emergency. With drinks, snacks, and meals in amounts ranging from 72 hours to a full year, there's no better place to look for healthy, easy, and incredible meals. Including meals such as traveler's stew, home-style potato soup, and a variety of other meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, InfoWars Life Select storable food will help you eat comfortably in a time of need. They even work great for camping. Simply pack a 72-hour kit to go and you have easy-to-cook and transport food for you and your loved one's trip. Don't be caught surprised by an emergency. Make sure you're stocked up today with all the food you need for an affordable price with InfoWars Life Select storable foods.